Hi, guys.
All right.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Okay, so hello, everyone that is watching out there. This is the first ever Zoom kind of video for Undeniable Truth. I have not done anything live. I haven't done any videos. It's only been audio. So you guys are my first guests for this. I'm like so excited.
Oh my God. Why didn't you tell me before? I would have fixed myself up a little
Oh,
bit
please,
better.
you look amazing. You look
Okay.
fine.
Oh my
So for
God.
Out
all
of the skin.
So
you guys
gorgeous. So
look,
gorgeous.
that's
Wait,
what
let
I'm
me
saying.
get my perfect view. Glow, glow. Let me try to glow over here.
She's like, I'm gonna glow. I'm gonna glow. You got this. You got
Damn
this.
it.
Well, guys, I
Okay.
want to introduce you to the audience. So, audience, today you are on with two amazing women that I've known. I want to say, Ange, I think I've known you for 9 years since I
Long,
started Dry
long time.
Bar. And then Auntie
Hmm.
Alicia, I've known you for the last like 3 years. I think.
I
Yeah.
actually think it's a little more than 4.
Longer, yeah, like 4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And both of these women are like moms, aunts, family members to me. So anyone that's ever been on the show, I literally let everybody know they're family, they're close friends. It doesn't matter what it is. So this is a platform not just for friends or strangers, it is for family. And you guys are my family. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
so
thank
glad you
you.
guys could
I
be
love that.
And
on.
you are ours too.
Uh, woo.
Listen, I'm so glad you're doing this.
Oh,
I'm so excited for you because I remember when we were talking about it and you hadn't even started. So this is so awesome to be here with you.
Yeah.
thanks guys.
I
Okay,
love
so
supporting you. Support our girls.
thanks, guys. So, these lovely ladies, Angela and Alicia, they both work in the retail business where I used to work, where I don't want to do no more, which I love it, it's a little free. But at the same time, we all met each other, and working with both these women, I was able to find out so much. And because it is going to be, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I wanted to bring them both on because they are both breast cancer awareness survivors. And another reason I wanted to bring you guys on too is because I don't know if I know Auntie Alicia, you knew about it, but Angie, you probably didn't because we didn't see each other all the time. I kind of had a scare about a couple months
Oh,
ago. Yeah, I did. So that's another thing. I'm sharing my little experience with it because I'm very open about it.
okay. Wow. I'm glad that it was just a scare.
It was a
I'm
it was
glad it
a
was just a
Yes.
scare.
scare. It was a scare. I had in my left breast, I had a little bit of leakage and I was unsure of what it was. So I went and got checked out, got tested, got mammogram done. I got everything done. Basically everything. And it was benign. So I was very happy when I got the results. But unfortunately, I am still having leakage. So now it's going to go to the next step. So I'm not thinking anything negative about it. It's all positive. But the fact that I'm able to talk about it more. Only a couple people knew. I feel really good that I'm able to share it publicly as well because this can help other
Right.
women, and that's why I brought you guys on as well.
Absolutely.
We're
What
here
you
to
Absolutely. It's so
motivate
true.
and help other women
Yes.
that may be going through it. And you guys are. This is what you guys are here for, and you guys have motivated me to get tested. So thank you
Yes.
for that.
That's it.
Thank
Listen, and
you
that's
for
if we
that.
could do anything, then that's the main thing.
Yes.
You
So
gotta be
Everybody should get tested.
you gotta be your
yeah.
own advocate. You gotta be your own patient advocate. You gotta be proactive, not reactive. You gotta take care of you. Nothing to be
Yes.
scared of. Nothing.
Yes, I agree with you 101%. Is always good for self care because if you're not okay, everybody else around you is not okay, believe it or not.
Right.
So,
And you have to be positive as well.
Yeah.
yes, your mindset.
That's the main thing. If you got to have a positive outlook, because if you don't and you get into the dumps, your whole body and energy will go there with you. So for me, when I was sick, I just as always was going to be better. Period. You know.
So
So I think
let's,
that's a big thing.
Same
in
Keep the
thing.
saying
positivity up.
that, we're
Same
going to get into
thing.
these questions. We're going to get into these
Same
questions because
thing
I
here.
have
Okay, great.
the
Yeah.
positive
Same thing
mind. So
here. Same thing
let
here.
me
When I
ask you
was
guys. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Same thing here. When I was sick, it wasn't even like I was sick. It was like I cried. And then I said, okay, pull up the big girl panties. We're moving, we're grooving. And then we were also inspiration to the other breast cancer people going in doctors' offices and everything else. I wound up being their words of encouragement.
Which is great because I'm telling you, there's someone that's going to be listening to this and you're going to change their mindset.
Yeah.
You both are. You really are. So let's get into it. So, first question
Okay.
I have for you ladies. When did you first find out you were diagnosed? Like both of
Go
you.
ahead,
Like,
Alicia.
yeah.
Okay, my story is different, I guess.
Mhm.
10 months before I had a mammogram, everything was fine. One day I was putting lotion on my body after a shower. I felt a lump. I went, oh, oh. Now, mind you, it's really weird. 2 days before that, I coughed and I felt something pop in my breast. It's really weird. And then
Mm.
2 days later, I was putting lotion on and I felt the lump. I got dressed, but on the way to work, I called my mother. She said, "Don't worry about it. Doesn't run our family." This, that, the other thing. I said, "No, I'm sorry. This is weird." Called the doctor immediately. Went into work. Told my boss I had a doctor appointment at 2 hours because I felt a lump. Literally left and went straight to the doctor.
And
I
what year
wound
was
up.
this?
I'm proud to say I'm 20 years breast cancer free survivor
Look at you.
this year.
Wow. That's what I love to hear. Okay. So 20
Um,
years ago when you first found out. 20
20
years.
years, triple negative, lowest survival rate. Okay. But we'll get into
Wow.
that later on.
Right.
Anyway, went to the doctor. She rushed me immediately to the radiologist. The radiologist did an ultrasound. And I remember sitting in the waiting chair and someone saying, "Oh, that's the one with the cancer." And somehow I knew they were talking about me. I overheard it.
Mm.
They come out and they say to me, "Listen, we don't know if it's anything you should be concerned about. You're closer to 40 though than you are to 30." I was 38. But you got to go to a specialist. 2 days later, I was at the breast cancer surgeon's office. Within 1 week, I heard the words, "You have breast cancer." 1 week from when I felt it putting lotion on.
Wow.
Mm-mm-mm.
That's that. And
I know, it's crazy.
that is crazy. Ange, how about you? Like when you, because I know you both are going to tell me your reactions from it, but Ange,
Yeah.
when did you first find out? And how long has it been?
Similar to Alicia, I mine was I think we move a little faster. I went for a mammogram in May, and then I noticed a lump in like, and they were said like keep an eye on your left breast. Something. It's I have dense tissue, which is always, they would say you have
Same.
dense breast,
Yeah.
whatever. So, and that was all clear. And then in like June or July, there was like a dent in my breast, and I felt a lump. And then but I, had work and everything. So I didn't get to the doctor until till end of August, beginning of September. And then just like they rush you through all of the tests, all of the
Mhm.
things. And then on September 11th, I found out I had that's when they called me to tell me I had breast cancer. And then I had surgery on October 15th, and it was stage 3 breast cancer. So it moved really, really fast from like May to nothing to August, stage 3 cancer.
Same
And
here.
Wow.
if I had left a little longer and didn't get to the doctor,
Right.
who knows where I would have been, because it was moving I lost all the lymph nodes in my right arm. And then there was 2 lumps in my breast, but then I ended up having a double mastectomy anyways, just in
Wow.
case. But which is good. I'm glad that they took both of them so I don't have to go through this again,
Right.
which is why I would recommend it to most people.
Same thing
You know.
Wow.
here. I was a stage 1, but I was a grade 3 and I had two
Mm,
kinds of cancers, and literally in 10 months that's how aggressive it was. I went from nothing to two types of cancers, invasive and inductal. And then when I went for further testing, they found cells about to change on the other side. So I had to have a double mastectomy because it was already like moving to
yeah.
both. Like there was no stopping it unless double mastectomy. Really.
Hmm.
Wow. Can I ask,
Yeah.
like,
So it's aggressive. So when you feel those lumps and bumps, go to the doctor
it's
immediately,
A
and
hundred
because
percent.
just like both of us, like look at how yours moved in 10 months, mine moved in less. And if I didn't take it serious and was like, this seems really odd, um, who neither of us might be here right now. So
Right.
whenever you feel anything,
yeah,
anything unusual, just go to the doctor.
Proactive.
Save
yeah,
yourself the headache.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
agree
stop. Don't
100%.
Google yourself.
Oh, the WebMD is no
Don't
longer
do
my
Google
friend.
diagnosis.
No, WebMD scares the poop out of me. I just no
Don't
doctor.
read. Do not read. One of my big things was someone gave me all these books to read, and I was like, I read one thing And I was like, I'm not reading anymore. I burnt all the books. I didn't pay attention to anything. I paid attention to me and my body and what worked for me. I read a book
Right.
that said I was going to have lymphedema if I did this, that, the other thing. I refused. I refused any negative energy. If it said it was going to be bad, I banned it from my head. That was it.
Right.
I
And did you
couldn't deal.
guys, before you guys obviously finding out, did it run in your family? Did you guys know anyone else or the history of cancer before any of this? Wow.
Nope.
So it just like popped up on the both of you.
Well, my father passed away of cancer, but it's different. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
prostate cancer.
Yeah.
We don't have that option. So, and nobody in my family. But I mean, I was here during 9/11, and I worked downtown. So who knows?
Right.
And I was also, a runner, and I always put my phone in my bra when I ran.
Wow.
So I grew up in Long
So
Island, a big cancer alley kind of a thing. A lot of people that I grew up with in Stony Brook and all that area. A lot of cases that when we look back at our Facebook walls of who had it during a certain time.
Yeah.
Also, where I live in New Jersey, Middlesex County, same kind of thing. Doesn't run in my family. I'm triple negative, meaning no family gene, no hormone. They don't know how I got it at all. Doesn't run in my
Wow.
family. I did the BRCA testing. I did everything. I mean, we've had other cancers in our family as well, but not breast cancer. And mind you,
Yeah.
I'm also a cervical cancer survivor before this. I had cervical cancer at 27.
Wow. So it was like 10 years later, you're finding out now about
11
breast.
years later.
11, well, 11, excuse me.
I
Yeah,
got
11.
diagnosed February 28th. April 7th was when I had my double mastectomy.
wow.
Wow.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
But like you both said, I'm glad you were able to find out about it and something to get done about it immediately because I've read about like the stages, it's 4 stages, and it's just like what you said, it jumped. You went for Angela, you were already in stage 3.
Yeah.
That's like, so I can only imagine
And
what was,
lymph
and
nodes.
that's, yeah. So
That's
this is
hard.
and it comes to my next question, like what was your biggest self-discovery and revelation after you were diagnosed?
For me, It was it wasn't gonna define me. I'm still beautiful no matter what, and I made it my life mission. I started a foundation, I lobbied, and I lifted women up wherever possible. I spoke at every engagement. I spoke at every Relay for Life. I spoke at every Making Strides. I went lobbying like I it just turned into some kind of focus for me to let people know, "Hey, look at me. I have breast cancer, but I'm still here, gorgeous inside and out, and you're gonna be too. The end. The
you let the
end,
you let
period."
you let the personality just pop out like frick this.
That's
Breast
it.
cancer
That's it.
what? Breast cancer what?
Exactly. You got no place here. You gotta go.
Breast cancer. Listen, I understand that.
And
Angela, what about
listen,
you?
I went from an A cup to a D cup, so I'm not gonna complain. I was an opportunist.
She said more boobs it is. Wow. She said more boobs it is. Hey now,
A
why
hundred
not?
percent.
More boobs it is.
Mm.
What about you, Angela? Like what was your biggest revelation?
My big takeaway is that, I always have this saying for me that life is not a dress rehearsal, and that's how I live my life
Yeah.
generally. I just made it ever more important to me to do the things I want to do, say what I want to say,
Oh, I know.
be authentic to who I am, and I'm already like that,
Yeah.
Listen, I love
but
it.
just more of that, just embrace myself more and be okay with who I am. Um, some of the things that I feel like is a faults in me. Um,
Are
it's just
okay.
my who I am,
Yeah.
and
Right.
they're not a fault. They're just what makes me me, and I'm okay with that. And if you're not okay, then it's okay for you to leave,
That's right.
because that's okay for you to walk away, because that means a new opportunity, next options.
Mm,
You know what I
I
mean?
hear you on
So
that.
I'm
Mhm.
okay with that, and being okay with that. Before I would have been a little bit more hung up on things and personalized things. I still do personalize a lot of shit,
Mhm.
but I don't take it so serious. I never had tattoos before. Now I have a tattoo on my finger. You know what I mean? Like
Really?
that would
I'm full of
never.
them. Yes.
I know. I was a person very I don't tattoo. I don't have tattoos. My kid didn't have tattoos. I'm like, "Oh, you don't know where your future what's going to You know what? Do what the fuck you want to do
I
because
hear
at the
that.
end of the day, you got to be yourself."
Own it.
No,
So,
right.
I
Own
wish
it.
I am glad that I waited to this age to get my tattoos because that they mean a lot more to me.
It
They don't
really
have
does.
any big meaning to anybody else. And they don't have any like you could ask me, what does this mean? It doesn't mean anything. It just means that I did it and I didn't give two fucks when I did it.
Right.
And that's what's important.
I
That's
hear
the
you
main
on that.
thing. Is
More sense
I
of
don't care
self.
what anybody else thinks.
More
I
sense
hear
of
you on
Yeah.
self.
that.
I felt more comfortable in my own skin when I was losing parts of me, which is ironic. You're losing parts of yourself, but you become more comfortable in who you are. It's
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. You
Wow.
gain those things.
Yeah,
So, for me that was a big thing, just being okay with that. And I know you think that I'm outspoken and stuff at work and shit like that. I am,
you
but in
should
a
be.
lot of ways I'm not. And just being more of that and being okay with it. And it's like now I don't. If you don't vibe with me, I'm not trying to make you vibe with me, baby. I don't care.
Exactly.
Peace.
Agreed.
You know.
Agreed.
So I don't. I may be in situations, but I'm not going to be in a situation where where I'm uncomfortable.
No.
Right.
I'm going to make sure that I'm okay. And if you feel uncomfortable, that's on you.
Yep.
And
Amen.
I can't help you with that because that's a you problem.
Amen.
And I'm not taking on anybody else's problem. So for me, that was it. And then just trying to think about what I want to do with my life and how I want to live.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't doing everything I wanted to do before and living the life I want to live and doing all the things, but just a little bit more. You know.
Same
Well,
here. I loved
I,
life, but I mean, I always loved life because everybody said to me, Alicia, did this change you? I'm like, no, I always loved life.
well,
I
that's
always
what I
thought
was
life
gonna
was my
ask you
biggest
guys.
gift.
What was the most
Mhm.
difficult thing going through the journey? Like going through the
Um,
treatments and everything. Like, what was the most difficult thing for you both, Angela?
for me, well, my surgery was really hard. um I'm a chick on the beach, tits out. You know what I mean? That's how I live all my life. So that was really
Nothing wrong with that.
difficult.
Okay.
I love to be. I'm a tits out girl all the time. My daughter's like, "Oh my god, put your top on." So that was something to come to. And I'm not a person, an implant person, anything like that. So that was tough to think. Okay, I've been critical of people with implants before, and now, like just not for people with breast cancer, but for people who just do it for as cosmetic.
Yeah.
And now I have implants, so I'm not so judgy on people because people get it for all kinds of different reasons. And before I kind of held that, but being bald with no eyelashes and no eyebrows and no hair on my body and putting all out of the way and just feeling like a brown blob and plus worse going through a pandemic was more difficult because I had a lot of support to begin with, and then because we were in a pandemic then everything shut down, so I really had to rely a lot more on myself. And I'm a person who comes from a family of four girls, so I'm used to having tremendous amount of support and people around. And so that was difficult, but I'm glad that I became stronger from having to go through that. But I mean, the whole process is, I'm not going to say none of it was easy and I was smiling the whole way, because it's that's not what it is. I think Alicia knows as well as I do. You put a brave face on for other people and also for yourself, because you want to see yourself smiling. You don't want to see yourself looking miserable or feeling miserable. You really want to put your headspace in the right space so that you're moving forward and always seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. But it's difficult. I'm gonna lie and say every day was great. I laid in my bed many days and did not get out of bed, you know, because I couldn't, number one, but also just days like I just don't want to deal with anything, you know? So everybody deals with it different. I mean,
Yeah.
I did not work through my treatment. I took short-term and long-term disability. I took a year off after all my treatment because I really wanted my body to have time to heal, and I
Agree.
wasn't about to stress myself out over no moisturizer. So
She said over no moisturizer. Okay, I hear that.
Over no moisturizer cleanser. I do not care. Don't talk to me about it because I'm not. I
She
know people
said
would say, why you
other
didn't go
days.
back to work when you doing radiation? You already did. I said, hell no. I'm gonna take my body and relax this woman because I've been working since I'm 13 years old.
No, I get
And I'm
that.
finally getting a break. The only other break I got was when I had my child. And
Yeah.
that's it. And a lot of people don't do that, but for me that was really important. So for me, takeaway again, putting me first,
Well, your body was
and I
telling you
rambled
you
a little
also
bit.
need the
Sorry.
break. Your body was saying, sit your
Yeah.
behind down. You can't keep moving.
Yeah.
And some people can, because I know we know some people that's also going through it right now, and
Absolutely.
they're
Yeah.
still moving, and I commend them
Yeah.
for that. But not everybody is
Yeah.
gonna be like them. So I totally get it. What about you,
Yeah.
Auntie Alicia? Like, what for you was the most difficult?
Um, Waking up from my surgery and having
Yeah.
my father cry over me, and me laying on the
Mm,
gurney and having to tell him I'm going to be okay. The hardest
Yeah.
part,
You still being strong for somebody
yeah,
else.
the
Girl.
hardest part for me, and not that my family didn't support me, but my role in my family has always been the butterfly, the high, the peacekeeper, the make everything okay person, avoid conflict because sometimes it's just not worth it. And
Right.
my father's no longer here, and sorry, and me being able to help him through his cancer. But the hardest part for me was having to be okay for my family. I mean, I remember my father even saying to me, "Why are you telling everybody you have cancer? We come from a family that is very private, where where they came from old school. You don't talk about your problems. You don't do this." And my hardest part was getting my family to understand what I needed to get through. I remember being
Right.
interviewed by a newspaper and posing half naked in the newspaper with my hands over my boobs, letting people know, hey, I'm okay. My mother was mortified because all she said was, everybody
You knew it
else,
in the paper.
right? Everybody else is in the paper looking classy and everything else, and then you are doing a Janet Jackson. And I said, "That's right," but I'll never
she
forget.
compared you to the Janet. Wow, that's a
Right?
classic photo
I
though.
said, "But I'm doing Janet Jackson." But I'll never forget my father calling me up, thinking that he was gonna tear me a new, asshole. And he calls me up. He goes, "Is this that sexy lady I saw in the newspaper?" And I said, "You get it. You absolutely get it." So the same man
Yeah.
who was crying over me made sure that I still felt good about myself, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I think the hardest thing for me, even though I was flat chested and it wasn't a big deal to come home flat chested, but the fact that I had a double mastectomy, you know, that,
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of the size. I think it's just the loss of whatever you have.
right.
It's a crazy feeling to look at yourself and it's gone, right? And you look and you go,
Yeah. Cervical
it's you
cancer.
don't you
Right. Cervical cancer out of sight in the mind. It was inside, but
yes.
breast cancer was like, wow, I don't have any feeling
Yeah.
here anymore. I don't have any
I mean,
sensation. I mean, you could touch them now. I still feel nothing 20 years later. Having to have intimacy with people has changed also on a whole different level because I don't work the same way.
but Alicia, it sounds like to me, do you have a hard time asking for help?
100%.
Because it seems like
I
it
still
sounds
do.
like you're like the total
Hmm.
you're the helper and that you had a really difficult time. That's one of the things
I
that
still do.
for me as the same is that
Hmm.
that's the one thing a big lesson. I should have said it. It was
Yeah.
learning how to ask for help. Like I can't do it all myself
Yep.
and I need help.
Yep.
And it's so hard to do that, for us women is to say that we can't do something, which is a shame.
Hmm.
But
Agree.
I'm very fortunate that I did learn that lesson, and I had a lot of. I'm so lucky. I have a tremendous amount of fabulous female friends
Absolutely.
who made sure I had food every day,
Yep.
made sure my house was clean, my refrigerator was cleaned out once a week. Somebody came to wash my floors, change my sheets. I had a rotation of people that came like once a week. Everybody had a different day of the week to do something for me and to help me with my daughter. I had one friend who went to my daughter's school, like any school meetings, all the programming at school. She took care of that for me. She went to teacher meetings, all that stuff, handled all of that shit because I couldn't do it. And I'm really lucky that, you know, they said, ask for help because you need it, jackass. You can't do this shit yourself. Like I could even change my sheets,
I
you
didn't
know?
have that
So
experience. I
I know a lot of people did, and I'm so thankful and grateful. I'm just so lucky. My doctors tell me all the time, we never seen anybody come with the amount of people who came with
Yeah.
you every time
Right.
you come here. You got a crew.
I had to ask for help, but I did a lot of it myself too because I just got to the point. My mantra was always mind over matter. I mean, a week
Yeah,
after my double mastectomy, I showed up at my doctor's office, makeup done and everything else, and he said, "Alicia," I
girl,
said, "my arms were over my
relax.
head." I said, "Can I drive?" He said, "What?" I go, "I also cleaned the bathroom." He goes, "No, you didn't." I said, "No, I didn't clean the bathroom."
Oh my
I said,
God,
"But can I drive?" And he said, yeah." I said, "Well, I thought
where
you
you
have to
going?
wait 2 weeks." He goes, "Well, why do you want to drive?" I said, "If I have to stay at home one more week with my mother, someone's going to die and it ain't going to be me. So can I drive?" And he said, not everybody's the same. And I've never seen anybody like you. And
At least
You are so
you were
crazy. Oh
being
my God.
honest. At
I
least you were being
was.
honest.
I
That's the
love
main
my
thing. You being
mother,
honest.
but seriously, this woman
I
was
think we all
like,
got that
I was
moment.
like,
It drives you crazy.
I
It
gotta
drives you
go.
crazy.
I gotta go.
It drives you crazy.
Oh my gosh,
Wow. Well, in knowing
that's so
this
funny.
from the both of you,
I can't stop crying now. I'm sorry.
no,
Ugh,
but you know
Listen,
what?
let it out, baby.
Listen, and I was gonna say that I knew doing this segment was gonna bring a lot of emotions. I knew a lot of the segments that I'm gonna be bringing on the podcast is gonna bring a lot of emotions. People are gonna feel up and down about it.
Mhm.
But even with the ones that I'm interviewing and they're able to speak and get everything out, it's gonna bring the emotions, and that's a good thing. You're letting it out. You're letting
yep.
other people see that you're vulnerable. Like this is how it's gonna be if you're going through it. So it's to me, this is fine. Believe me, you're gonna see me shed a tear before this episode is over.
I,
And believe me, I'm a crybaby when I'm frustrated. I'm not a crybaby with
me
nothing else,
too.
which is weird. But when I'm frustrated, oh, you'll see tears. You'll see tears of I'm gonna slap
Shit, I
somebody.
cry at commercials. What are you talking about?
Me too.
Well, now my question for
Don't
you
put
guys
no
is,
Little House on the Prairie on.
oh gosh,
Ah!
now that's a classic.
I know, I know. You know, it's interesting. When I was sick, the only thing I wanted was for my mom to come here. You know, my mom lives in Jamaica, so I see her once a year or
Mm,
twice a year. And you know, none of my family lives here. So that was very difficult. But you know, I'm so thankful for my family. One of my sisters flew here for my surgery. She stayed as long as she could through that. She put a timer and would wake up in the middle of the night to make sure I took my pills every 5 hours or whatever it was. She was amazing, and she stayed an extra week. And then she left, and then my mom came in when I started my chemo, and I was so thankful for her to come in because then you know, when they tell you your hair is gonna fall out in 3 weeks, that shit falls out on the day in 3 weeks. Like they
Real,
don't mess
like
around.
all
Like
the,
there's
I know it's in
yes,
clumps, but wow,
is that there you go? Is that look at you, cutie?
wow. Now my
I have
That's
question
this.
to
it.
you
It falls
guys.
right out.
So
I
see,
have
that's
this
what
on
I'm
my
curious
desk.
about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As a
I have that
reminder,
picture
no,
on my
you
What you
fine.
say?
desk. I have that picture on my desk to always remind me where I came from.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Well, see, that's what I wanted to ask you guys about too. What is one thing you wish you knew before treatment? Like they tell you your hair is
What
gonna
I wish I
fall
knew.
before doing your treatments. Yeah. What is
I can
one
tell
thing
you
you
that
wish you
right
knew?
now. I wish someone would have told me to freeze my eggs so I could have had children
Oh,
because the chemo put me into menopause and no one ever discussed with me about
yeah. They
freezing my
don't. They don't
eggs.
tell you that. That's right. Especially with your cervical
And
cancer.
I
Yeah.
told everybody who I mentored after, like young people who used to come to me, I'm like, if you don't know if you want to have children, freeze your
Freeze
eggs
your
Freeze your
eggs.
anyway.
eggs. Right.
Yeah.
It's a 8 year shelf life. But I wish someone would have told me that because I was a person, I never was sure if I wanted to have children or not. My mother was very sick when I was growing up, and I really helped raise my sisters. So, me having children was on the fence a little bit because I kind of felt like I already did that at a young age. Um, but when the choice is taken from you, it's devastating. It's devastating
Wow.
because here I am now. Yeah, I have nieces. Yeah, I have my friends who became my family. But in my older age, who am I really going to have? I don't have a family of my own. I have no children to carry on me. I mean, I know I make a mark for myself. I know, you know,
Yeah, you sure do.
right, right.
Hmm.
Thank you, thank you. But I wish I had a son or a daughter that,
Yeah.
you know,
Listen, you can still adopt if you want to.
not
You
at
know, I
59 years old, darling. Uh-uh.
Lauren was offering herself.
Oh, honey, honey, I already got you. I already got you. I got
no.
you.
You
She's
can
like,
adopt
listen, hey,
me.
hey, hey, hey,
You want to
I'm
adopt me?
available,
Listen, my
and you
mom
got
will
a
tell you.
grandson. What's up?
Listen, my mother be like, listen, you bought her? You sure? My mother will tell you, I'll make her come out here. She'll be like, you sure you want it? Take her. Because I get on her nerves all the
Mhm.
time. And she visits me. She don't even live here. So it's fine. Well, that's good. What about you,
Uh.
Angela? What is one thing you wish you knew before what was one thing you wish you knew about getting into, doing the treatments?
Um, Nothing. I feel like I had I didn't think I was gonna get cancer, so I didn't think. I mean, I think I had like an amazing team of
Mm,
doctors.
Right.
And I went to Columbia Presbyterian. My breast surgeon is amazing. Dr. Weichman, she's awesome, and she was very honest with me from the beginning. My oncologist, Dr. Accordino, same. My breast surgeon, Dr. Rhodey, same. I had all female doctors, no males at all. Nobody at any point asked me if I want to increase my breast size at all. They said to me, "You will get you back to where you were. That's it. That's our objective." And nobody ever said anything negative to me. The only time I heard actually how sick I was on the last day that I had radiation. I went in and my doctor was busy, so her male counterpart came in, and it's the first time I had to interact with a man. And he said, "Wow, that's a nasty bout of cancer you just had." And I'm telling you, I went through that whole time not thinking that it was as bad as he described, because they were always so positive with me. And they said, "We're just going to get you to the end. We'll get you there. You'll be back. It's going to take you 12 months for sure. And we'll get you where you are. You're not going to be exactly the same, but we're going to get you as close as we can." And everybody was positive. Everybody was moving forward. And when he said that to me, this is the first time I kind of just was like, like I
whoa.
realized like really, really how sick I had been. But I had such an amazing team that I had no idea that as sick. I knew I was sick, but not as bad. So I would say like I don't have anything. I think I got great information. I know that my doctors worked as a team and they may meet every Friday to discuss their cases. So whoever I was seeing, they always were up to date on. I got the same information from everybody. Um, they were super supportive.
Mm.
Talk to them now still. And I feel really, 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 really fortunate that I had a great, great team. The only thing I asked is, "Can you keep my nipples?" And they said, "If we can, we will." And they did. I can't feel them, just like Alicia, I don't feel anything here, but having that kind of gives me a little bit of grace. Not to say it's the same
I
because,
have no
they don't
nipples.
react to anything.
No nipples. No, it was 20 years ago. That was that never happened. I mean, things are so much better now. In fact, my best friend is going through it again. She had it 9 years ago or 12 years ago, and it came back. And it's funny. She felt the same way about you. She was very adamant about wanting to keep her nipples because even though she had to have a double mastectomy, they just is for her
Well, it's
made
an
her
option,
yeah,
Yeah, because they said to me, they said, "Listen, you may lose them, but because we don't know where all the cancer is, but if we can, we will keep them for you." And
yeah.
I said, "Do what you can." But the thing is that I had everything scraped out, so I
So
just
did
really
I.
have skin.
Yeah,
A lot of people, yeah, a lot of people have some fat or have a was it a
no,
lumpectomy? Everything is gone.
mine
So
too.
mine is all scratched out. So I was happy that the nipples were there, but then for me it's aesthetic, to be honest with
Yeah,
you, because they don't look the same.
but I have a
So.
great tattoo
Yeah.
artist who years later, just recently, 2 or 3 years ago, did a 3D areola nipple tattoo on both of
Oh,
mine, and they're amazing. Although I'll never forget again, I'm gonna say something about my dad 'cause, joking around always drove him crazy also, because he was dealing with it, but he was proud of me, but whatever, and I used to say to him, "I'm gonna get milk and cream, or I'm gonna get 2 flowers, or I'm gonna get a sun and a moon," and he's like, "Really?" And then when I did get tattooing, I'll never forget, me, my mother, and my sister were all in the bathroom comparing the color of our nipples because when I did get the tattoo the first time, it was so dark. And I was like, I had nice pink ones. What color are yours? What color are yours? And my father's like, what is my house turning into? Like, what is going
Let's talk
on?
about color nipples.
it's a conversation. It's a huge conversation.
Huge,
Trust and believe me,
huge,
Oh, I
it is
believe
a very big deal.
I believe it.
huge,
I
It's a very
believe
big
it.
deal.
Well,
huge.
for
I
both you ladies, what advice would you give on how to best support a loved one going through breast cancer? Because the fact that you're saying you had these conversations with your family, obviously your family is your biggest support. So if you know someone that's going through it, but their family may not know how to be supportive, what would you tell them? How would you advise them to be supportive to their loved one going through
ask, what do you need? Say, I know you need help. How can I help you? Tell me how to help you.
it?
Though, I think I had a lot of people help me, like I said, but one of the things that bothered me, and part of it is that um, because I wasn't asking for what I want, people assume what I want. So they were doing things that was fucking irritating to me, and I was just like, yo, but then I didn't have the strength to say anything. And when I should have just said in the beginning, like for instance, when I first went to my first chemo, that Red Devil is a bitch. And I don't know if you did Red Devil
I
as
did.
well, but it's so hard on you. And I remember my neighbor and my fake mom in my building. I love her to death. And she came and it was so hard for her to see me in this situation, so sick. And so because I saw her feeling this way, I'm trying to make her feel better when really all I need to do is focus on me. I can't be caught up in your emotions and yours and try to make you feel better. I need you to I told her, don't ever come back here to chemo with me. Your job, what I need you to do is make sure when I get home I have a home cooked meal because I don't want to eat any crap. I don't want no leftovers. I don't want no fast food. I don't want no ordering. I just want some basic kind of plain food that we can discuss and that can be and she loved that because now she knew exactly what she could do to help me and it was something she loves to do and she knew what she was being useful. And so I would say be tell people what you need. Let people ask you what you need because maybe you're not
Yeah.
sure, but be adamant about that. I mean, I remember one of my friends was like, "No, I'm coming with you," and I really just wanted to do something with me and my daughter when I was getting my foobs put in, and she's a good friend, and she was so supportive, and she was like, "No, I'm going to come with you," but she didn't listen to me. I said, "I just want to go with my daughter," and then I mean that did cause a rift in our friendship because it's like you're not hearing me. So make sure
Yeah.
you're heard.
But that
Ask for what you
shouldn't
want.
that shouldn't have caused a rift because that's your daughter. It's a different relationship.
Right. But some people, like she said, they hear you,
I
but they're
know.
not listening.
Because they
They
just
but
wanna
the thing
help
is that
you. It's coming from a place of love, and
Hmm.
they just
it's a
wanna help
good
you.
place. Listen, it's not from I'm not saying it was
Yeah,
no negativity. It was coming from a
yeah,
very good place. So I would say, you're gonna have to figure out what you need from people and you're gonna have to ask for people. Ask it.
Agreed.
And say to people, I'm not sure. Hit me back up and ask me what I need because then I'll know in a couple of weeks. Right now it's a lot, you
Right.
know? And if you do that, then that's helpful. And also I say to everybody, take that disability. Do not work. Do not work
I
because the thing
agree.
is, let me tell you something. If you drop dead tomorrow, your job is posted by the end of the day. They have zero loyalty to us. I don't care what industry you're in.
I
Take care of
agree.
yourself, put
I
yourself
agree.
first. The amount of women I hear going to work when they're doing chemo, going to work at radiation. No, stop it. Take care of yourself. We don't get any maternity leave. Dogs get longer than we do. Take care of yourself.
Oh, that's something I
If
definitely didn't
you
know.
It's true. You cannot adopt a puppy unless it's 8 weeks old. Most jobs make you go to back to work when your child is 6 weeks old.
Yep, they do.
Dogs have more rights than women.
They do.
Take your time.
What they say,
Take your disability
you're as good as your last big sale in our in our industry.
exactly.
So
in every industry.
yeah.
So I would say take your disability, take your time with yourself.
Mhm.
Give yourself grace.
100%.
No job is worth it. No job is worth it. I don't give a damn what it is, because guess what? If you can't turn up tomorrow, they're replacing you. Everybody's replaceable. We all are. We're all amazing at our jobs, but we are replaceable. So take your time for yourself and give yourself grace to heal. Don't let anybody rush you back.
Amen to
That's
that.
my thing.
What about you, Auntie
And I
Alicia?
take mental health days even now.
Well, I definitely take mental health days, or try. I know no one believes me, but it's not from work, because work for me is a distraction, because
It's true.
I love my mother, but it's a lot. And some days I
Yeah.
lie and say I'm working just so I don't have to deal with that home stuff, and I could actually have a day to myself. There is two things that I would tell people. One thing I hated, I had one girlfriend that every time she saw me, she talked to me like I was dying. It was like, "How are you? How are you doing?" Don't talk to me like that.
What are
I
you?
am
What is she,
here.
Morticia?
Yeah, like it was like, "Oh my god, how are you? How are you dealing?" That pissed me off. Don't talk to me like I'm sick, because yeah, I'm sick, but I'm a fighter and I'm a feisty, excuse my language, motherfucker. Do not talk to me like I am
I love it.
whatever. It's not happening. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, I agree with you. I worked 2 or 3 jobs my whole life, right? And I worked for, at that time, I was not in this industry. I worked for a huge corporate law firm. I was doing labor and employment law, international law office. My boss was the managing partner. I worked in HR with the office manager as well. I took 6 months off. It was during the summer. I went to the pool with my friend and her 3 little baby triplets. I went to the beach. My girlfriend lost her daughter. I was there helping her. I lived my life. I wound up becoming that I was the busiest unworking woman around, and I didn't know how I was going to fit work back into my life. I
I
took
love
that
that.
time.
Good.
I lived my life. I had something to do every day or not, but I did take 6 months off. And I was very lucky, though. I had a boss who I'm still close to this day. When I was in the hospital, he visited me in the hospital. When I was home, he came to my family's home to make sure I was okay. When they talked about eliminating my job, he made sure I had a job to come back to.
That's someone that
That's a
cares.
good
And
boss.
that
Mm-hmm.
was
That's someone that
huge,
Hmm.
cares. That's someone that
huge.
cares.
Yeah.
And we're still to this day. I haven't worked for him in 5 years. He cried for 3 weeks when I was leaving him because I worked for him for 20. And October 8th, we got plans for dinner to catch up. When I was out of work for the first time ever, when I switched businesses and we did have COVID, that man sent me a check for my birthday to make sure I had money in my bank. You'll
That
always
is
have
so
that one
nice.
person in your life that just don't talk to me like I'm dying. And I agree with you. Take the time off. Live your life. Figure out where you want to go. Figure out what you want to do or not. Just take care of you. The end.
Exactly. Listen, I'm so glad that you had a good
I
boss.
did.
I didn't even get a card.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible.
That is horrible. I didn't even, no, I didn't get a card or a call or nothing. I didn't hear from anybody until they said, "Are you coming back to work? Your long distance, your long term disability, it ends on this day. And if you don't come back to work, then you're losing your job." They weren't very
That's
kind. I
horrible.
didn't receive a card. Yeah, no, nobody. I heard nobody from my company contacted me at all. It was really difficult because I worked there for, like, I had my 10-year anniversary this year,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
to work with all those people for such a long period of time and build that company, and not one person. I mean, there was people who worked, like Crystal,
Yes.
and Raina,
Yeah.
and my team. They knew, and I heard from them. Um, but from the company as a whole, flowers after your surgery? No. But they even cut off my health insurance when I was in chemo.
No. No.
Yeah, in the
No,
middle of my
that's
chemo.
beyond.
Yeah.
That's no.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's
wow.
horrible.
They it
That's
is.
that's
It is. But that's, it's
that's
okay, cuz that's
disgusting. That's
I
not even
pay,
just hard. That's
it is. I
disgusting.
paid I paid for my own treatment. I had to get Cobra because they cut me off even though I was coming back to work, and I was like, a lot of people, if you are sick and come back to work, they cover your insurance,
Yes, and
Yeah,
then
they
while
you
you go
do.
pay
through
them back.
treatment. And
That's what they did. They
then
covered my insurance, and I paid them back when I got back to
no,
work.
I went there for my, I think it was like 2 or 3 different chemos I did. The Red Devil first, and then there was another one and
Yeah,
another one. And I remember going there, it was in the midst of it, and I was bald and it's pandemic and shit. Just before, it must have been January because it was just before the pandemic. Um, and they said, "Well, you don't have any insurance." I said, "What are you talking about? I come every Wednesday."
right.
And they said, "Well, not today, since you don't have any. It's been cut off." And I called them at the company. They didn't even send me an email saying, "Hey, it's going to be cut off. Get yourself prepared." There was nothing, not even a call. So I called them and they said, "Oh, well, you're on long term, so we don't cover you." And I was like,
But they
"Okay."
still could
And
have
then I
gave
said
you
to them, "Well, I'll pay
warning.
for it myself." They were like, "It's $17,000." I said, "Well, I won't be paying for myself." And then I got Cobra. So then what did I pay? Like $1,200 a month. So I was on Social Security and disability, and most of my paycheck went through my Cobra to cover my costs. So that's why I say don't have loyalty to these companies. They
No,
don't give a
it's
damn
tough.
about you. I mean, look, I work for that company. I built this whole territory, and I didn't even get a card. Hope you're well. Merry Christmas. Are you alive? And so
That's so
take care of
horrible.
yourself, handle your
Wow. I'm
that's
sorry
okay.
that you had
You know what?
experienced
It's
that.
I don't feel no kind of ways about it because those people who did that, karma is a bitch and
Ooh,
it will come
we
back to
ain't
you.
lying
Yeah,
about
And
that.
so, I know that I am blessed and highly favored.
yes,
I know I had tons of support. I know that when I didn't have um, insurance, I had a friend who worked in the healthcare industry and said, "I got you. Let me make the calls." The people in the hospital said, "We got you. By the time you leave today, Angela, you're gonna have insurance." And I
yes,
tell you what, that was a Wednesday. I went back on a Friday, and everything was taken care of.
It's
yeah,
not
And
what you
friends
know,
said,
it's who you
"I'll
know.
send you. How much money do you need?" My friends came over and with a stack of hundreds
yeah,
and said, "This is for you to pay your rent and for whatever treatment you need."
yeah.
We did it. I mean, it was like $1,100 in like 3 days. Like it happened on Wednesday. They brought the money over on Thursday. So like I'm
Because
so
God is
fortunate.
good.
So
Yes, yes,
that's
yes,
right. And so that's
yes,
why I say I used to be so angry with them and I am bitter with them. But you know what? It is what it is. And that's their choice. And that's that I have to do. All I know is that the people who were here to take care of me did it, you know, and that's what you got to rely on.
yes.
So take care of yourself. Don't put your job first.
No,
Take a sick day, take a mental health day. That's it. Loyalty is not something that's real.
no,
Oh, ladies, I appreciate the both of you for giving your testimony. Like you literally
Sorry.
just broke it down. No, this is
don't
I told you
apologize.
do
I'm
not
giving you a big
apologize.
hug.
Right.
Hug, hug,
Usually
hug.
I would do recordings in person, but we did it virtually. Don't worry, we're gonna see each other soon.
Yes,
And that's another thing too. Like the fact that you're able to give your testimony, I want you guys also to share what are you doing for October Breast
Oh,
Cancer Awareness Month. Let them know because I want people to support. I'm going to support as much as I can, but please, anyone that's
I
watching this and listening,
Alicia and
support.
I do the breast cancer walk as we do every
I'm trying to be
year.
there. I'm going to be
Um,
probably with my son, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there.
Bring him. It's okay. It's a good day. It's a beautiful day. My team is called Angie's Happy Hour. You can find me on Making Strides.
I love it.
That's my team, and we walk at 9, and then I'm doing a talk called at Cafe Mellow called Pause for the Cause. My breast surgeon will be there. A CBD expert will be
Woo!
there. I will be there, and I'll be introducing my new little brand, which I will just give you a quick glimpse of it.
yes,
I'm excited for this.
yes,
This is
Woo!
my brand. Only shit we love. I don't know if you can see it. These are gummies. It's what's that? It's all CBD.
Woo!
So these
Woo!
are all the products. These are some CBD products that had people had made for me when I had my surgery. Here's my other bomb. And so these are the things I use to help me heal and get back to myself. And so one of the things I did is create this brand for myself called Only Shit We Love. Shit stands for skin, health, inner peace, and time, because that's the shit that's
Wow,
important to me. So
that's
it's only
beautiful.
shit that I love. Well, that's what I'll be offering you. Nope. If I don't love it, that shit ain't coming on my website. You know what I mean? So these guys are great. I'm working with a great team. And so please come October 15th at Cafe Mellow on Lenox. It's 328 Lenox Avenue in Harlem from
yes.
2 to 5. We'll be talking about breast cancer. women's issues.
Yes.
It's also a dispensary, so we will also have my CBD will be available there too. And then if you want anything else, you can go downstairs to the dispensary and get that.
I
So
love
it's an
it.
art gallery, so it's a beautiful space. If you want to buy some art, it's going to be in a beautiful space. We'll have refreshments and just an opportunity for us to talk about women's issues, not particularly breast cancer, but we can talk about menopause and anything. So I look forward to seeing people there, and hopefully both of you ladies. And that's what I'm doing, and I'm trying to build
Woo!
myself as I move forward in my life.
Woo! I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love it. I love
Yes.
it.
Yes,
Woo!
Angela.
I
So
love it.
I'm doing quite the opposite. Um, for 15 years, I ran a nonprofit. For 15 years, I raised tons, over hundreds of thousands of dollars. I helped families going through cancer, breast cancer, gave them Christmases, gave them babysitting, gave them camps for their children, lobbied, everything else. Then, when my father died because of the treatment, I turned a little bitter and I had to step away for a little while because I know you all know this about me, but for those of you who don't, when I do something, I am 150% all the time. I'm either all in or I'm all out. There is no middle ground for me. So when my father passed away, I stepped away for a little bit. I got my job with Makeup Forever. Breast Cancer Month came about. I said, you know what? I'm sure my father wouldn't want me to walk away from everything totally. So we started the team with Makeup Forever. I've been a spokesperson in Makeup Forever. We've been building our team now over the past 2 or 3 years. I'm celebrating 20 years breast cancer free. So, what I'm doing after the walk that day, we're also walking at Central Park, which, by the way, I'll send it to you. I don't know if you went to the Making Strides page, but there is a video on there called Mod Op, which I was very privileged and honored to be a speaker in, talking about
Oh,
what Making Strides does, what money they give, who they help, all the different avenues. Check it out. I could send you the link. And what I'm doing for my 20-year anniversary, as obviously part of that video, but I'm also just going to be hooting and hollering and celebrating all the survivors and honoring all those who have passed and supporting all those going through it. And then I'm going to go eat, drink, and be merry that afternoon
all right now.
because for
Go
me,
ahead, girl.
it's a celebration. And we'll do the best we can and help all those around us and just spread our wealth of information and support.
I love it.
Oh, guys, there will be food and beverages at my event too.
Oh,
Food and
okay.
beverage
Then
all the way.
maybe I'll
Wait,
just
Wait. There'll be
liquor?
then
Popeye.
I'll just bring
Popeye.
everybody by. We'll just all come on by.
Pop.
Listen,
You'll
this is
pop by for a little bit. Listen,
yes.
you'll eat at Sylvia's in Harlem. Come on,
Yes.
you'll come uptown and do
Yes.
your dinner up there. There you go. It's across the street. They're having an event anyways on the same day.
I
They
love
got
it.
events at Sylvia's
Works
anyway.
for me.
It's a
Works for me.
it's a cocktail event, so you can go across the street when you're done with me.
Okay.
I love it.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
Excellent. I love that. This has been amazing. You're doing such a great job, Lauren. I'm so proud of you and so happy for you.
Me
I have
too.
been listening to your podcast and I've been enjoying it. I want to listen to the one with Ari. I'm
Yes.
very excited. I heard that little clip
Ari and
today.
Vanessa. Ari
So,
and Vanessa.
Woo!
Yes.
Believe me, it was a
yes,
very great episode. It's gonna be so
I'm
much
sure.
more.
I love those guys.
I love the fact that we were able to do this. So we're not only honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're also honoring domestic violence for the month as
Yes.
well. So there will be an
Okay.
episode on that. So I'm
Okay.
excited for everyone to hear, and I want to thank both of you again. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, and please,
Thank you. And I appreciate you too.
I can't wait for everybody.
I
to
Because I'm
appreciate
available for other podcasts too.
I
all right? I'm
appreciate
available
both
for
of
all
you.
podcasts.
I appreciate
Oh.
both you ladies. I appreciate both of you.
Thank you.
I am so happy that this industry has brought me such positive and wonderful women as well.
Absolutely.
I'm proud
It's
of
amazing
you,
connections.
Angela, for your strength and your resilience and your sharing. And I'm so proud of
Thank
your
you.
CBD new
Yes, me too.
venture. And Lauren,
Yes.
I love this podcast idea for you. You are definitely a shining star. And this is
Thank
your
you.
element, girl. This is your element.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it,
you
girl.
so
That's
much.
it.
Thank you.
And
Well,
we love you
thank
for your
you.
energy, mama.
Yes,
Thank you.
Alicia.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes,
Listen,
always.
thank you guys
Thank you.
for tuning in. And please make sure all the listeners and anyone that is viewing this to look out for future episodes. And guess what? The YouTube channel is coming soon. So it's coming
Yeah.
with this.
Excellent.
So
All
if you
right.
can't see it on Apple or
Well, I
Spotify,
look forward to being a
YouTube.
panelist again.
Woo!
Yes.
Yes, you
All
will. You
right.
will.
Take
Have a
care.
great day, guys.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.